Call of Duty could finally be dethroned as the yearly bestseller. We hear the Game Awards speeches that were cruelly cut from the show, and the finals developers double down on AI. I am Ash Dixon, and this is GINX News. For this first story, I need to fly us across the pond over to the US, because for years now, a rather depressing tale has unfolded. You see, in America, when it comes to game sales, Call of Duty has reigned supreme. In fact, other than a couple of Rockstar games, it's taken the top spot for 15 years. Shout out to 2008's winner though, the classic Wii Play. Bro obviously only won because it came with a free Wiimote. Very cheeky. But in 2023, we may return to those good old days with Hogwarts Legacy currently at the top spot. It's had the benefit of being out for basically the entire year, and as of May, it topped 15 million sales and grossed over $1 billion, which is crazy money. That's only been improved by its recent Switch port, which surprisingly actually ran decently. I mean, genuinely, we've covered a lot of Switch ports on this show, and it's literally the only one I can remember that actually ran properly. However, its top spot isn't a done deal. Modern Warfare 3 has been quickly rising through the ranks since its release last month, though with only a few weeks left in the year, it's looking like it won't be enough. And it's nice to see, to be honest, considering it was a pretty disrespectful release, an incredibly rushed campaign, old rehashed maps for the multiplayer, and the zombies mode was just plonked onto the new Warzone map. It's still going to make way more money than it deserves, but at least some COD players have come to their senses. And ultimately, with Hogwarts Legacy's own controversies, it feels like we're just picking between the lesser of two evils. I was then planning to talk about all the other games that may now get a chance at the spotlight, but other than Elden Ring in recent years, it looks like Madden and NBA 2K are always next on the list, which I guess I shouldn't be too surprised about. There's a reason they pump out new games every single year. I want to know what you think though. What game should be the #1 bestseller in your book? Let us know in the comments down below. When it came to this year's Game Awards, it's safe to say that a whole load of people were a little disappointed. I've already done a big whole spiel about my problems with it in an earlier show, so I'll save you the rants, but now a good chunk of developers are doing so too. And the main complaint is that the Game Awards isn't living up to its name, and I think Kayla Glover, a game producer at Bungie, said it best. She said, "The speed running through awards was flat out insulting, and only giving the actual devs 30 seconds to speak while prioritizing Hollywood actors being on stage was so gross." And you know, it actually aggravated me watching Jeff Keighley just spit out award after award throughout several points in the night. I just felt so bad for the developers being deprived of their moment of glory. And depressingly, several have had to just post their speeches online because making games is a ton of work and involves a whole load of people, and they deserve to be thanked and recognized. And if you're a fan of some of the winners, such as Sea of Stars, which won Best Indie, or Chia, which was the winner for Games for Impact, I totally recommend giving those speeches a read. They give a really nice insight into the people and the stories behind those games. Meanwhile, even those who did get a speech have clearly been left disappointed too. Baldur's Gate 3 of course won Game of the Year, but Larian founder Sven Väinck still only got like 30 seconds on stage. He's since put out a string of tweets explaining what he would have said in his speech, you know, if he actually had time, and I'm kind of sad now as it would have been rather touching. He explained that his suit of armor was to commemorate the community. He explicitly thanked those who often get forgotten, the QA team, the localization teams, the customer support teams. He personally thanked the loved ones they lost along the way, such as Jim Southworth, the game's cinematic lead, or Sven's own father, who passed away a week before they went into early access. Hell, he even thanked all of those on the D&D team at Wizards of the Coast and acknowledged the huge rounds of layoffs they've just seen. He said, "It's a sad thing to realize that of the people who were in the original meeting room, there's almost nobody left. I hope you all end up well." And again, the industry has been decimated with layoffs this year. It's insane to me that it was not mentioned once at the Game Awards. Finally, Sven signed off with also Baldur's Gate 3 is out now on Xbox, which hilariously he didn't get to say on the night. And if anything, I think Sven just embodies what the Game Awards should be about. He has that decorum, humility, and gratitude that the Game Awards seriously lacked this year. And yes, I know it had Flute Guy. Flute Guy was great, but Flute Guy is not enough to carry the show. You may remember us talking a little while back about the finals, and more specifically, its quite frankly bizarre use of AI voiceover. If you had forgotten just how weird it sounds, here's a reminder.
Welcome to Quick Cash, the team that tucks away enough money first triumphs.
Scotty said it. Let's see who's got the pace to ace this race.
I mean, how on earth anyone could listen to this and think it sounds legit enough to be put in their game, I have no idea, but apparently the development team at Embark Studios are doubling down. The studio's director Sven Grinberg, the evil of the two Svens, did an interview with the site game developer in which he affirmed the position that their use of AI is down to the modest size of their team, and artificial intelligence was just being used in conjunction with real voice actors to produce the final product. He said, "We saw the discussion happening, and one of the reasons we discussed it from the onset was because we have been super transparent about the use of AI-based text-to-speech in the game. One thing that we want to make really clear in terms of how we use those tools in the finals is that we use a combination of recorded voice actors and AI-based text-to-speech that is based on contracted voice actors. We don't generate voice and video from thin air." Now, let's leave aside the questionable ethics of creating new dialogue from someone's voice who didn't actually agree to say those things, and the fact it means voice actors don't get their fair share of pay that they should. The fact is, the videos we've heard so far are simply not as good as if they'd been done by an actual performer, like nowhere near close. Grinberg is claiming that they can create the same quality product as a much larger studio, which raises the question, does he have ears? The game's had a peak player count of over 240,000 people, so clearly they've been able to make a game that players actually want to play. Surely then you'd have some semblance of shame to want to create the best quality product that you can. If they didn't have the money before, they certainly do now. Or maybe not, maybe you want your game to be tarnished with the legacy of taking money away from artists so it can sound like a dystopian nightmare.
Talk about making a solid first impression on our sponsors.
So yeah, whilst it might have made sense to initially try using AI voice actors whilst your team was small and your budget was modest, that situation has changed, and quite frankly, so should your position on silly AI voiceovers. And that's the show, not long now till Christmas, so why not give the gift of giving with a like and subscribe to our channel, and let me know what games are on your wish list to Santa in the comments down below. Don't forget to check out yesterday's video somewhere around here, and we'll see you tomorrow.